All right, let's talk about this. Ezra Miller. Guns, bullets, and weed. Ezra Miller housing 3 young children and their mother at a Vermont farm. Sources claim the living conditions at the Flash's Stars farm are unsafe for children, alleging there are weapons lying around, and that a 1-year-old put a loose bullet in her mouth. Ezra Miller has been hosting a 25-year-old mother and her 3 young children at their Vermont farm, a living arrangement that worries the children's father, as well as 2 others with knowledge of the situation, Rolling Stones has learned. Not enough that Ezra Miller is terrorizing Hawaii with their talons, fighting people all the goddamn time, but also they may or may not have kidnapped people. I don't know what's going on. 2 sources with knowledge of the situation expressed concern of Rolling Stone that it's an unsafe environment for children, alleging 3 are unattended guns strewn around the home on Miller's 96-acre property. First of all, that's just America, okay? I just want to point that out. That's just like, what? The baby has a bullet in the baby's mouth? Like, okay, cool. Like, that's how you grow them young. Like, that's how you get them to fucking learn how to be a goddamn American. That's called freedom. What is this, communist China? You can't have a fucking bullet in your mouth when you're a baby, when you're teething? The fuck? One source, who like the other requested anonymity for fear of retribution, recalled an instance where one of the children, a 1-year-old, allegedly picked up a loose bullet and put it in her mouth. But the mother, who, like the father, Rolling Stone is not naming, claims that Miller had helped her escape from a violent and abusive ex, and Miller helped me finally have a safe environment for my 3 very young children. Well, not so safe, considering there's guns lying around. Or maybe the mother is a Republican, who knows? Ezra's home ranch has been a healing haven for us, she tells the Rolling Stone. They may have firearms for self-defense purposes, and they're stored in a part of the house that the children never go in. My kids are able to relax more into their healing because of the safety and nurturing Ezra has been providing for them. Oh my God. Okay. The mother and children, age 1 to 5, have been living in Miller's Stanford, Vermont farm since mid-April. Actor met the woman in Hilo, Hawaii, which Miller had been visiting in March. No, that's not what Miller was doing. Okay. Ezra Miller was not simply visiting Hawaii. Ezra Miller was bringing the wrath of God to Hawaii. Ezra Miller was terrorizing Hawaii. That's the proper terminology for what the fuck Ezra Miller was doing in Hawaii, okay? Yeah, invaded. Yeah. The second Ezra has hit the towers, okay? Oh my God. Yeah, slicing people's throats with their talon feet, as Jabuki aptly put it. Okay, actor met a woman. The embattled actor who was set to star in Warner Bros. Anticipated The Flash racked up a string of arrests in Hawaii, causing an emergency meeting with studio executives about the future of the franchise. Miller is non-binary and uses they-them pronouns. In the midst of that unfolding crisis, the children's father claims to Rolling Stone that Miller secured a flight out of Hawaii for the woman and her children, allegedly without the father's knowledge. He claims he has not been able to see or speak with the children since the departure. I got a bad feeling in my stomach, the father says. I do want to get my kids. They mean the fucking world to me. Representative Miller did not reply to the request for comment. Why do we care about Ezra Miller? What do you mean, why do we care about Ezra Miller? Because this motherfucker is literally terrorizing entire states. I mean, at a certain point, you got to cover it. What the fuck? So this was when people were like, no, not Ezra Miller. I'm sure there's more to this. When they choked like a fangirl out. Yeah, and then people were saying like, "Oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke."
You wanna fight? Subscribe and share and make a like for the video. Whoa, bro, and follow us on the Facebook page. You want to learn it? Thank you. Did you want to fight? Is that you? Whoa, bro.
Like she's laughing, but then it seems serious.
You want to learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that you?
So that was like, before COVID. I think it was like 2019 in like Iceland or some shit. And honestly, like, I thought that was like a one-off. I don't know what the fuck's happening. And then, turns out it was just normal for Ezra.
We need to talk about Ezra Miller because they're being...
Bro, I don't like that. Bro, I swear to God, this is the only thing that's going to convince me to get a fucking haircut, low-key. Like...
accused of kidnapping someone, drugging them, and now they're running from the law. And it's all getting way out of hand. Ezra Miller is a 29-year-old actor who identifies as they, them. They've been featured in films like After School, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and of course, The Flash. Ezra is a very particular person and honestly not my type. I mean, I saw some footage of them getting arrested in Hawaii and the way they behave is very much privileged status.
I'm not transgender, non-binary. I don't want to be searched by a man. I get assaulted.
What? Oh, this is what I saw. This is the clip that like people were talking about where they were like, yo, you know, they thought that this was like a shield.
Arrested in Hawaii, and the way they behave is very much privileged status.
I'm not transgender, non-binary. I don't want to be searched by a man. I get assaulted for NFT crypto art. What's your name? What's your badge number? Tell me your name and your badge number. What key?
Ezra.
Full name, full badge number.
Control 1.
My 9th Amendment rights to not be unlawfully.
Oh my God, they're like a fucking sovereign citizen, bro. Straight libertarian. Ezra off the perk. Turns out it's not that they have like very obvious mental health complications happening. They're just a libertarian. Everything makes sense now, okay? The whole like fucking spouting random amendments, okay? The grooming, like all of this makes so much sense when you realize like no, like Ezra is just straight up a fucking they them libertarian. Living on a farm, homesteading, incredibly libertarian LARPing shit, okay? Multiple guns, allowing babies to like play around and eat a bullet, incredible libertarian shit. That's just it. They're an uncle. Every libertarian is one, of course.
Persecuted.
Bro, being a hateful pedophile predator is not the same as having mental health complications. I mean, there's all that. That's why I'm saying it's not just the mental health complications. They're a libertarian. Which is, of course, untreatable, unfortunately. Yeah.
For a crime of no designation.
This is the kind of person who believes that they're above the law and that they can do whatever they want. Actually, Ezra's Instagram was recently deleted because they were posting pictures mocking the police because the police are on the hunt for them and cannot locate them. Let's start off by talking about Ezra's relationship to Takata. They met when she was only 12 years old, and supposedly Ezra has been grooming her for about 6 years. So Ezra has a farm in Vermont which has 95 acres, and supposedly on this property they've been up to no good by drugging people and housing a cult-like lifestyle. Multiple witness reports state that Ezra is allegedly supplying illegal mind-altering drugs to teenagers at their Vermont farm, committing extreme...
I was like, who the fuck are you guys talking about? Then I realized, I was like, is that gay mischief? Yo! Yassified mischief, dude. Oh no. Oh, yes, Kif.
Acts of physical and psychological abuse, and claiming that they are the second coming of Jesus in a cult-like manner.
Bro, these dudes are so whack. Like, they always got the same shit going on. You know what I mean? Like, the cult leader shtick is so played out. Like, get a new one. Get a new shtick. Get a new shtick. It's like Jared Leto and Ezra Miller doing the same exact bullshit.
So Ezra is being accused of some serious things, and nobody can seem to find them. But Takata's parents really care about her and want her to be safe, and they understand how dangerous this person is because they've known them for years. Here's a photo of Dakota with Ezra in their home, and there's her father who goes by Chase Iron Eyes. One of the reasons why Chase Iron Eyes has been so public about this situation with his daughter is because they've tried to legally serve them and figure this out, but they keep moving around. He was quoted saying, "They move around so much that we're stuck in this legal limbo situation and we can't serve them any place they're in long enough." So let's go ahead and talk about how Ezra got so close to Dakota at such a young age. So Dakata's parents claimed that they allowed Ezra to fly out some tribal members to see the Fantastic Beasts premiere in 2017 in London. At this point, Ezra tried to sleep in the same bed as Dakota. She was 14 years old at the time. In the legal petition, they write that Ezra uses violence, intimidation, threat of violence, fear, paranoia, delusions, and drugs.
Why are you guys throwing up Huz? We already covered this. I just covered this. I literally just covered this.
To hold sway over young adolescent Dakota. They really started to grow close in 2017 when Dakota was 14 years old. But her parents claimed that the grooming did start when she was 12 in 2016 because they met each other at Standing Rock during a protest. That's where Ezra actually invited this family to come and see the premiere of this movie in London. Dakota's parents also shared that they learned that she was drinking with Ezra because Dakota actually told them that Ezra started taking her out to these bars when she was only 14 years old. When Dakota was 16 years old, Ezra convinced their parents to let them attend a private school in Massachusetts, about an hour away from Ezra's farm. Dakota's parents saw this as an excellent opportunity for their daughter to pursue their dreams while getting a proper education, and Ezra would be Dakota's mentor. Ezra lied and pretended that they would pay for Dakota's tuition through an altruistic organization, through some charity or something, but Ezra wasn't even affiliated with them. Later, Ezra would allegedly use this against Dakota to instill a sense of indebtedness. As I mentioned earlier, Ezra goes by they and them. When it comes to Dakota, I see some people go back and forth between she and her and they and them. At one point, they did identify as they and them, but then she switched it to she and her after being with Ezra. So it's kind of up in the air, but the parents refer to her as their daughter, so I'm really trying my best. I just don't want to offend anyone. Now let's talk about Ezra's drug of choice, because it looks like it's ketamine, which if you guys don't know what that is, it's a drug that I believe it's like horse tranquilizer that like slows you down and everything. Not too familiar with it, but it can be helpful and
Dude, never mind.
essay crimes because the person can pretty much tranquilize the other person and take advantage of them. Dakota's father claims that they know personally that Ezra was using this drug and that you could pretty much smell it on them. Another story that Dakota's father told about Ezra was once they were taking a photo together and I guess Ezra had a big jacket on and decided to pull out a gun in the middle of it. In the middle of taking this photo, just randomly decided to pull out a gun. At this point, they were just getting to know Ezra, and this made Dakota's father very uncomfortable. They actually claimed that they would not have invited Ezra into the home if they knew that they had a gun. And they believe that Ezra is extremely violent.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
But Dakota isn't.
This is straight up
Ezra's
libertarian
only victim,
behavior.
and other people
Through
have
and
been
through.
speaking out. Actually, it turns out that Chase Iron Eyes, so Dakota's father, and Ezra went to Oakland, California. They also had two other young women, Stella Marbles and Mia Solange. Mia, which we're going to talk a little bit about Mia right now, because Mia actually posted about Ezra in April 2022. Mia posted a TikTok captioned, "You took everything from me. Ezra Miller is not a good human, and I can finally say so without being terrified. Hashtag abuser." Since Mia came out with their story, there have been a ton of evidence released, including photos of bruises and messages where Ezra would physically harm and threaten these people on the daily. Mia has shared a TikTok that went viral, but then made their page private, so I can't really access it. It doesn't actually have any words, it just has pictures and that caption we already read. But they have spoken out again, and I'm going to share a few clips of them speaking about their experience.
I also wanted to clarify that I did not post this video to gain sympathy. I did not post this video because I was trying to prove anything to anybody. I posted that video for myself.
DC lawyers and DC executives are like this the entire time. They're like, is there enough evidence still? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We got a franchise that we built. Come on.
And I posted that video because for so long I was so scared to say anything or to bring awareness to what was going on. And, the easiest way for me to do that was in the form of that trend of which I made that video in. And it felt like the safest way to do it for me. So yeah, just clarity on that. Also, I've had a
Emha doing the fucking thing. doing his Google Earth thing.
A lot of people in my DMs telling me that they've been in similar situations with
Flexing
Ezra,
GeoGuessr.
and I'm trying to figure out what the next steps are. I'm also trying to figure out how I can reach out to these people because, you know, there is more bang for your buck in numbers, and if I can get I don't know. I'm just hoping we could do something about this because I'm tired of them. Ezra.
That was a lot. So now let's go back to Dakota and let's go to this year, January 25th, 2022, and talk about what Dakota went through with Ezra. So while in New York, Ezra drugged Dakota with LSD and they went into an incapacitated state. They went back to the farm in Vermont and Dakota's condition got worse and worse. Their mental state was deteriorating. The condition got so bad that Ezra and their house guests decided to call Dakota's parents on Saturday the 29th. So 4 days later? What the hell? During this time, Dakota wasn't eating, wasn't sleeping, and Ezra was on Instagram complaining about the KKK and stuff, which of course we don't like the KKK, but like he went viral for that, so just like a time reference. And Dakota wasn't doing well. They had bruises on their arms when they were picked up. Her mother, actually, Sarah Jumping Ingle, took that photo in the car when they picked her up from the farm. What's crazy about Ezra is that once Dakota left, Ezra started texting her mother, Sarah, and was like, hey, you want to bring her back? I'll have a team come out 24/7, have a mental health team. We'll keep Dakota here. Just like wanted to have Dakota under their control at all times, which is like major grooming. According to the order of protection, in early February 2022, Ezra broke into Dakota's friend's house and stole Dakota's computer, passport, driver's license, keys, and cell phone. Dakota spent 3 weeks detoxifying from the drugs that they consumed, and they did a bunch of healing powers and ceremonies and things like this because like she was going through it. Dakota told her parents that Ezra was using ketamine and that Dakota was deeply impacted, listen to this, deeply impacted by Ezra Miller's voodoo priest, who they had, I guess, an association with in New Orleans. Dakota expressed that Ezra told them that they, Ezra, had been R-worded when they were 14 years old. When Dakota's mother asked them about the bruises on their body and face, Dakota stated that they would not answer Ezra, so Ezra held them down and kept hollering at them. Another friend had to intervene to get Ezra off of Dakota. So Dakota's parents were there for them. They tried to help them. They actually went and helped them get a new license, a passport, and all of that. And
bro, why does he keep saying her name like that? I don't know. Maybe because he said it wrong. Heads up that Tokata Iron Eyes is pronounced Tokata, not Tok-Oda. Okay? Like they got it wrong. He got it wrong. Okay? He admits that he got it wrong. How are you looking at a situation where this dude is actually doing a pretty good fucking breakdown of like all of the horrific things that Ezra Miller has done, and the only thing you can hyper focus on is like the name is wrong, like he's getting the name wrong. I actually don't, I really don't get it. Like, I really don't understand how you can be this person.
And then Dakota actually lied to their parents and told them, I'm going to go to New York and visit a friend. But in reality, Ezra met up and picked up Dakota, and they were on their way back on this roller coaster all over again, which you can't blame Dakota because she's been getting groomed since she was 12 years old by Ezra. Now moving on to May 27th, Dakota's parents found their approximate location within Los Angeles, and they were informed that they were walking around like zombies, that they were bruised and scuffed, and that they didn't have their phones. Ezra was not allowing Dakota to eat. Dakota's friend also described having to ask Ezra's permission for Dakota to go out for dinner. Now, this is where it gets interesting because on May 29th, Sarah and Chase, both of Dakota's parents, went to the home where they believed they were all staying, and they were. They knocked on the door, and this girl named Rosie answered, and they were like, hey, have you seen my daughter Dakota? Well, Rosie looks over at Ezra, and then Ezra's like, Sarah, we're not doing this right now. Sarah is the name of Dakota's mother. And then Dakota appeared and was super happy to see her parents, but then we're mad because at this point, Dakota's parents have been legally trying to get a hold of her. But so she quickly was like, hey mom, like excited to see you, but why are you serving me these orders? Like, why do you keep doing this? Blah, blah, blah. Well, about 15 minutes after they like were talking and all this, the three of them fled the scene. Dakota's parents call the police, and before they arrive, Ezra whispered something to Dakota and Rosie, and they started walking quickly down the road, probably trying to get them to escape. Sarah kept up with them. At one point, Dakota was limping due to the shoes they were wearing, stating they had blisters on their feet. Ezra then whispered again in Dakota's ear, and they began running away from Sarah, the mother. Dakota actually pulled out a knife and threatened the mother to hurt her. What the hell? But Sarah wasn't giving up and kept running up behind them. Ezra made physical contact with Sarah as Dakota and Rosie were getting into an Uber. So Ezra had this plan. I'll call Uber down the street. You run there, you get there, get in the car and go. Sarah reached inside for Dakota, attempting to talk to them when Ezra slammed the car door and on Sarah's arms several times. You guys can see some of the bruising right here on Sarah's arms. And Ezra advised Dakota and Rosie that they would meet them there wherever there would be. And the bruising looks like it hurts. Like, that looks painful. And since then, the parents haven't really had much luck. Dakota does have an Instagram, and supposedly they shared a statement claiming that they're totally all right and their family's pushing a false narrative. Here's their post, and pretty much they share that, like, I'm doing fine, and Ezra has been there for me during a dark time in my life. She mentions not needing a conservatorship, which I was...
Bro, I thought they just like to punch people in Hawaii. There's so much more. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hadn't covered this for a while, but like it really built up. So that's why, like, when this new stuff came out, I'm surprised that you thought you just like did not know at all.
I was like, I didn't know conservatorship was a situation, but I mean, okay. My father and his allegations hold no weight and are frankly transphobic and based in the notion that I am somehow incapable of my own thought. I am an adult and I deserve to feel authority in my own body. I am tired of wondering whether the cops will show up to me on a daily basis. So I get where she's coming from there. But she's calling this betrayal and that her parents are toxic. And at the same time, you have to look at what Dakota's gone through, drugged and physically harmed and all of this. Clearly, they're not in the right state of mind and they're being manipulated way past, like, I wouldn't say no return, but way past a point to where, like, you cannot even, like, this isn't reality. And is this even written by Dakota? Well, Dakota's parents don't believe that Dakota wrote it. They believe that Ezra wrote it and put it
Chat, check my Twitter.
on the Instagram because Ezra's currently controlling the Instagram, which would make sense if they control so much. After the parents make this accusation, then of course a video comes out where Dakota's talking and sharing that this is their choice and this is what they have to say.
All right. Hi guys. Hi folks. I've become aware that some people are saying that my statements were not written by me. I'd like to clarify that they are, in fact, directly from me. Nobody is controlling my Instagram account. I don't have a phone right now out of my own personal conviction. And honestly, it's really distressing that the narrative of the victim in question is not being granted any trust. I worked really hard to make really clear what was going on. And if the statements are too profoundly contrasting to whatever assumptions those of us have garnered and have chosen to carry, I'd like to say that it's nobody's business and that no one is owed a story or an outcome. This is my life. These are my decisions, and I'm disappointed in my parents and the press in every way.
I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
It's a really bizarre video, and I honestly feel so bad for Dakota because it seems like it's grooming, brainwashing, all of that, all these horrible things that they're going through. And like, what do we do? I mean, they're running from the law at this point. And keep in mind, Ezra is a working actor. What's going to happen after all of these allegations? Like, there's another like Fantastic Beasts movie coming out in 2023, in June 2023. How can they keep the star? They've already shot this film, so they're going to have to reshoot everything. And it seems like every day there are new allegations out about Ezra. Today we found out about a—
Why are we on the side of her parents and not her? I don't know, because like it kind of feels like you know, this isn't a case of like just a random weird you know, queer person getting it doesn't feel like it's a random weird queer person that's like kind of getting fucking a bad rap from the media, and more so like a libertarian nightmare, a menace on society. And that she's a child, one that was also given a fuckload of drugs at an early age. One that has been groomed since the age of 12. Like, a lot of people grooming in like really weird ways. Like, people act like you could groom like a fucking 25-year-old man. You know what I mean? Like, people should be like, oh, that was grooming. It's like, no, dude, you're just fucking ridiculous. This is the instance where like grooming is the only appropriate term to be used in this instance. Okay. Like, this is it. When motherfuckers are talking about grooming, like when Republicans talk about grooming, like, oh, it's Disney's grooming our children into being gay. Like, that's not real. That's not a real term. Or when like super woke people on the internet are like, oh yeah, you groomed me at the age of 34. Like, that's bullshit. Okay. No. But this is the grooming. It seems like.
A 12-year-old granted a protection of order against Ezra. There's not a lot of details here besides the fact that a mother and her 12-year-old child decided to get an order of protection against Ezra. They're from Massachusetts, and they claim that one evening the actor came to their home and was threatening them and acting inappropriately towards the non-binary youngster, a 12-year-old. Remember, Dakota was groomed at the age of 12, like starting at 12. And it looks like there was the accuser present, their mother, and a neighbor who all saw this go down. There are also text messages that were sent by the mother and the neighbor, as well as photographs that corroborate their accounts of the night. So we don't know exactly like what happened there in detail, but it sounds pretty bad. And if you're not familiar, Ezra has gotten in some other trouble too, like throwing a chair at someone, getting physical with fans. And I have other videos about Ezra you guys can go and check out and learn more. But that's what's going on currently with them. And I don't even know what to say besides I'm scared for Dakota, and I'm sending good vibes and good prayers. So let me know what you guys think about this video. Here's my email if you guys have any other video ideas for me, and I'll see you guys in a new one soon. Bye, guys.